Hello, and welcome to the third installment in my series on chronic pain. My name is Carolyn Pitts. I'm an ACE certified health coach and intuitive energy healer. And in this series, we're looking at chronic pain from an energetic perspective. Today, we're going to talk about what I like to call weeding the energetic garden. I am constantly battling poison ivy in my yard. If you have ever dealt with this plant, you know how tenacious it is. You can't just pull it out because it's going to break off and leave the roots deep down in the earth. I have spent hours patiently digging out the roots. I have found roots that are feet long, and still, when I dig them out, those tiny little hairs on the roots, they break off and they stay in the soil. And eventually, the plant grows back. I've seen something similar with some of my Healing Touch clients. After a session, they're so relaxed, the pain is gone, they feel so much better. You can look at them and see that they're lighter and brighter, and they feel better for a few days, maybe a few weeks, and then the pain comes back. And every time we have a session, when I do my pre-assessment, I find energetic congestion in the exact same places. And that says to me, there's something going on with low vibe emotions, low vibe beliefs that are causing that energetic congestion that's rooted deep in their biofield to come back, just like that tenacious poison ivy. When I was in my early 40s, I developed pain in my shoulder. It very quickly progressed to the point that I could not move my shoulder. I had difficulty getting dressed. I couldn't buckle the seatbelt when I got in the car. To do my work, I had to prop my elbows up on pillows so that I could reach the keyboard. And the pain was terrible. I wish I'd known then what I know now. The closest major energy center to the shoulder is the throat chakra. The throat chakra is related to finding our voice and speaking up for ourselves, which I've always had a little difficulty doing. And back in my early 40s, my aging mother-in-law was living with us, and she and I had a lot of friction in our relationship. It felt to me like she was always full of helpful advice about how I could better parent my children, prepare meals for my family, even the clothes that I bought to wear to work. And because I'm not good at speaking up for myself, by the time I finally tried to set boundaries, there was a lot of energy coming out in my expression of trying to find my voice. And as a result, her feelings were hurt and she cried. And after that, I learned to just hold back anything I felt like saying. And I believe that congestive energy is what led to the blood flow and the cellular repair not functioning as it should in this region, which led to this shoulder locking up. And that's why I was diagnosed with frozen shoulder. I went to the physical therapist. It took a lot of painful exercise, but finally the mobility in my shoulder returned. But I didn't deal with the source. I continued to have a contentious relationship with someone in my home. And 2 years later, the frozen shoulder came back, except this time it was on the other side. And I went back to the same physical therapist, and I went through the same months of painful physical therapy and exercises. And I remember asking the therapist, why is this happening to me? Why is this pain coming back? And she said, we don't really know. We have some theories. None of them apply to you. I think I know now what was causing that pain. Weeding the energetic garden requires unearthing those low vibe thoughts and low vibe emotions that are at the source of our pain. So what's causing your chronic pain? you may have to put on your detective hat and do a little sleuthing to solve the mystery. It may help to look at the energy centers or chakras that are closest to the area of your body that hurts. What are those chakras associated with? What is their purpose? And is their purpose a clue to what's going on? Like for me, the throat chakra, it's all about speaking up for yourself, speaking your truth. There are so many resources out there that will explain where the chakras are, their major purpose, what balanced energy in the chakra looks like, and what imbalanced energy in the chakra looks like. Here's one resource that I like, Eastern Body, Western Mind by Anna Dia Judith. She's a very popular author and expert in the field of chakras. And in this book, she not only goes into the traumas that could lead to issues in the respective chakras, but she's got techniques for how to clear and resolve those long term. Another thing you can do is pay attention to what's going on in your head and your heart. What are the thoughts that arise for you on a regular basis? And how do they make you feel? Energy vibrates at a frequency that is measured in hertz. Emotions like fear and grief and anxiety vibrate at a frequency below 100 hertz, whereas emotions like love and serenity vibrate at a frequency above 500 hertz. So pay attention to thoughts that lead to emotions, low vibe emotions like anxiety and grief and fear. Okay, I'm going to interrupt myself for a second. I want to make the point that low vibe emotions like anxiety and fear and grief cannot be avoided, and I am not recommending that you avoid them. The Buddha taught that emotions arise and fall in our life like a wheel rotating around. Sometimes you're riding up on the top of the wheel and sometimes you're down at the bottom of the wheel. But as long as the wheel is moving, you're good. I'm talking about when the wheel gets stuck and we're chronically having low vibe thoughts and low vibe emotions. I also want to say if you're working through the recent passing of a loved one or the end of a relationship, grief takes time. So if your chronic pain began with a period of grief and mourning, recognize that that's a process you'll need to go through, and the timetable for everyone is different. What you can do is the energetic first aid techniques that we talked about in the last video. Every day, clear out the river. Grief is just a process, and there's no way to go around it. We have to go through it. And if we try not to go through it, we're just prolonging the inevitable. Okay, that's enough of interrupting myself. Another resource that I love is Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. I love this book so much that I gift it to my clients. In the back of the book is a list of physical ailments and possible emotional causes, as well as affirmations to help reprogram old low vibe beliefs that are consistently reintroducing congestion into your energetic body. If you have a favorite book about energy healing or chakras or anything related to this topic, share it in the comments so that other people can check that out too. You don't need to go through this alone. If doing the sleuthing and doing the inner work is beyond what you're able to do at this point, which makes sense because if you've been dealing with pain for a while, your energy stores may be very depleted. Find a therapist. And I would recommend, if possible, to look for someone who is skilled not only in therapy, but also has some specialized training in energy healing. The Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology has a database of therapists that use energy healing in their practice. I'll provide a link to the database in the comments. Long-standing low vibe beliefs have really deep roots, just like poison ivy. It's not easy to pull them out. It's going to take some time and some work. And that's why I recommend, while you're going through the process of weeding your energetic garden, keep up with your energetic first aid so that you're constantly clearing the river while you work on finding the source of the congestion and eliminating it so that it stops coming back for you. Thank you to the member of my intentional inner circle who requested this topic. I hope I've provided content that's helpful for you. I'm here if you have any questions or comments or any other topics that you would like to suggest. You can leave me a comment down below or send me an email, carolyn@carolynpitts.com. I'm rooting for you. There's no reason for you to suffer continuously with chronic pain. Solutions are out there, and you can find it. Bless you. Love you. Thank you for joining me. Remember, the best things in life are intentional. Intend peace, intend love, intend well.